Hello and welcome, Gemini. Beautiful Gemini, thank you so much for joining me. You're with Elise for your June 2021 Zodiac Wheel reading. For any new viewers, welcome. So glad to have you tuning in. And please do subscribe by clicking on that subscribe button and the little bell that's next to it so that you don't miss out on any future updates. So I'll just focus here for you now, Geminis, for June. And thank you, Great Spirit, angels and guides, for your guidance and loving messages for Gemini, for their highest good and for the good of all concerned. And here in June it adds up to a 11, so it's an 11 month, and 11 is a master number, meaning revelations, inventions, discovering something new, mysticism being put to its highest use, which is wonderful, wonderful frequency to be delving into all kinds of metaphysical, mystical realms. So for you, Gemini, Eight of Wands is the first card out for you in the area of your physical characteristics, behavior, appearance, personality. First house area governs head and face. Now you've got this wonderful card of swift action and clearing things away. It's also a card of messages from faraway places, the Eight of Wands, travelling by air as well, because the arrows travel through, and the wands, whatever you prefer to call them, is travelling by air. There's also travelling over water, and as you can see in the background there's beautiful mountains and Alps with lots of snow on them. So I do feel this is a message of movement, taking a trip, events happening in the now. And there's a need for you to keep up because there's important deadlines, but good news is on the way. It's also a card of travelling by air, flight. For those of you that may want to be going somewhere and getting there quickly, because this is about things happening swiftly, which means the world to you. Means the world to you to be able to get things happening and moving. There's that, I get that sense of everything's just been held up for so long, I just want to, hit the ground running. And this means the world to you to be able to do this. So congratulations for climbing the mountains, getting over those obstacles and not repeating old patterns. Not repeating old patterns is very important. Learn from the cycle of change. Everything is constantly changing, and the cycles have always got a beginning and a middle and an end. Cycle of completion. And the world definitely represents that cycle of completion. There's some recognition being shown with this card appearing in your spread, and everything falling into place. So that's a really good start for you for your June. Everything falling into place. We like it when things fall into place, because you've put in the hard yards, Gemini. You've put in the work and the effort to make things fall into place so that you can take a rest. The Four of Swords is about rest. The Four of Swords is about recovery, a time out, recharge, regain a sense of control. you need to give your body, mind and spirit a rest. Now, this could be by practicing meditation, reconnecting to the higher source through prayer, or just simply seeking some sort of spiritual guidance. But again, it's speaking to you of taking a vacation so that you can recover if you've been stressing, or you may be needing to recover from some sort of illness or surgery. So this is in the area of your communication, short distance journeys, your neighbourhood, your local area, your siblings, brothers or sisters, and the third house area governs transportation, how you get around, trade, whatever trade you work in, journalism, youth, speech and education are all third house energies. And with that Four of Swords in there, it's time for you to de-stress. Invitations. Cause for celebration with the Three of Cups. Forming close bonds. Sharing good times, whether it be with family, partners or friends, or even professional associates. This is indicating a joyous occasion. Now this is in the fourth house area, so this is about your family, home, land, property, even the nation that you live in, and how you see yourself. So you're really feeling a lot better about yourself, and you're either opening up and inviting others in, or you're being invited to many different occasions. Okay? Or events, being invited to a lot of different events as well. King of Wands, fire sign energy, so Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. And this is speaking to you about being on a path leading you to being the bold decision maker and courageous leader. And this is in the area of your children, where you find your pleasure, where you find your joy. Fifth house, pertaining to speculation, entertainment industry, or just entertainment in general, games, and it also governs that noble side of yourself as well. So the fifth house is about good fortune, and the King of Wands is about independence, being a bold decision maker and a courageous leader. Queen of Swords. Now this could be a woman that is widowed or on her own. She may have been on her own for quite a while, but she's very truthful, and she gives and receives advice, so you could be receiving some advice from her. And she is an air sign, so Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy, here in the area of your health and well-being, as well as co-workers and your working life. So this is to do with your job. This could be a contract, because the Queen of Swords is also about legal issues as well, or legal contracts. So there could be something that you're looking into there, or getting advice about, or giving advice about. Now whoever this woman is in your life, she is a significant person that brings change. She's very savvy, no nonsense person. Okay, so it is it's the getting of wisdom. So I feel that she's got some information for you. If it's not you yourself, Gemini, being the one that gives the information. There's success here with the Chariot. Yay! So this is in the area of partnerships over here in the 7th. So we like this. We like success when it comes to business partnerships, marriages, groups, the public, one's equals, and the results of our labour. The area of balance and harmony, governing legal affairs, contracts, and the Chariot is a message of victory, triumph, and progress. So there's courage here to resolve and balance any conflict, whether it's your emotions or conflicting emotions. The emotional test that you may be you will be experiencing, that will make you stronger. There is new beginnings which bring about decisions being made, but in order to have a new beginning you've got to have an ending. So something has to end in order to begin, but you have to make some decisions here about moving or purchasing a new car, or could even be involved with travel. So I do like the Chariot when it appears in your spread, because it does symbolise that you're going to have the success that you've been working so hard towards, and you've got news coming from long distance, and that's also over here in the polar opposite is the news, but it's good news. This is Cupid's arrows finding their mark here with the Eight of Wands, and speedy happening, something happening quite soon. Okay, and this is lifting of burdens, so you're going to be delegating to other people. Here, this is your responsibility, this is your responsibility, and you're not going to be carrying the load all by yourself anymore. You're going to have other people to help, really. It's not necessarily that you want other people to do it, but you would like them to assist you in the day-to-day responsibilities. So reach out for help. You could hire help. You're sick of the journey being so hard. You're feeling that it's been hard, and you're fed up with that. Fed up. If your partner isn't helping you, you'll be fed up with that as well. Okay? So here in the 8th house, it is the area that governs your joint resources, inheritances, legacies, and it is about new beginnings, birth and rebirth, and renewal. It governs the occult, mysticism, your psychic, it's one of the psychic houses, and it also governs loans, insurances, taxes, that kind of thing. So you're wanting to delegate some of the day-to-day responsibilities. Then you have the Hermit here in the area of overseas travel, higher education, and the future, where you want to set your goal. And there's one of the goals is about attaining higher wisdom and higher understanding. The Hermit is the seeker, and it's a meditative journey. And in order to have that journey, sometimes you need to withdraw. but it's letting you know that it's the right time to find peace and solitude in order to think and find clarity. And while you're doing that, you don't want to be disturbed. So you may have to sort of, you know, clarify that for others that may want to, you know, want your attention now, immediately, and clarify for them that this is a time of an inner journey for you, of seeking your own higher understanding. So that is one of your goals. And others may want to turn to you for that advice. They like that mystical, wise side of you, Gemini, and they want to tap into a bit of that. 10th house, you've got the Ace of Cups up there in the zenith of the wheel. And aces are about beginnings and individuality, and they're also a sign that you will be receiving a gift. Now, whether it's a gift of new feelings beginning to blossom, it's a turning point of change where something can fall into your lap, start of a new cycle, seeds are ready to sprout, opening your heart chakra. There's happy news. For those of you married and wanting to start a family, this is a sign of fertility as well. So it's conception for a man or a woman. And it's here in the area that governs your social life, social standing, your reputation, and your highest achievement. So your cup runneth over. Your cup is half full. You're a half full kind of person, and that's the perspective that you've got here through June. No matter what difficulties you may have to sort of offload, you're going to take plenty of time to rest, because you've got two cards that are sort of about withdrawal and resting here. So, and in the polar opposite of each other, 3rd house to the 9th house. So that's the what's called the polar opposite. So rest is really important. Contemplation and inner journey is also important. Offloading of all the burdens. There's a trip, vacation here, wanting that. You're wanting to be able to go. You're deciding whether to go by land or air. But you could be sort of doing both. So maybe you're flying somewhere and then you're hiring something and driving, or you may be driving somewhere and then flying backwards and forwards from something. But you've got both that sort of going on. So lots of movement happening, which I'm sure is really good news for many of you after having to go through such strict lockdowns and everything being held up for so long. Not so held up anymore. We've got the Ace of Wands, so that's two aces, one after the other. So with the Ace of Wands, this is fresh ideas, inspiration, optimism, creativity, initiative, and going ahead and launching something new. Making heartfelt decisions about your direction. And again, something could fall into your lap and ignite this new beginning, because you're ready to explore new opportunities. It is also a sign of fertility for those of you trying for in June, for you Geminis. So this is in the area of hopes and fears, groups, friendships, and it's leading you into the future. The Tower, Mars energy, passion, desire, ego. And the Tower is, even though it's very ominous with being struck by lightning here, and looks like he's toppling out and the tower's crumbling down, in a way that's true. The Tower does represent something that was something solid in your life being sort of deconstructed, but it also represents building something more solid than what you actually had. And if something in your life is sort of dissolving or crumbling, it's because it's not going to be able to be beneficial to you with all this new beginnings that are opening up for you and the new direction that it's taking you in. So it needs to sort of be replaced by something more solid and more tangible. Okay, you might have to abandon an unstable lifestyle and forge a new path. You might have to get out of your comfort zone. But being out of your comfort zone always helps you to really appreciate when you're back in your comfort zone. So that is influencing the 12th house area, which is your subconscious, what's hidden and behind the scenes, where you can self-sabotage. Your psychic energy, it's another psychic house, and institutions like hospitals and prisons and schools, and that search for self-renewal. Okay, so it is something that is about the unexpected, with the Tower being there. Maybe no one expected you to change your lifestyle and get a more beneficial lifestyle that truly reflects your authentic self. It's certainly going to be something that you love. It just may come about in a way that you hadn't anticipated that would be the way it would come around, which is often the case. We want things to change, and when divine source or the universe helps that change come about, we go, oh no, I don't want it to change like that. But sometimes we've got to get those changes like that. It can be quite spiritually uplifting. So I'll just focus here for you, Gemini, and ask for your guardian angel, who your guardian angel is this month, who you can turn to and ask for help and signs through June. And you've got the angel of communication. And number 7. So really right up your alley, Geminis. You love communication and information, so it's saying to you to really embrace that part of that Gemini part of yourself, that you have the communication skills within you to share your ideas and feelings with others. And your affirmation is, I have the voice I need to help me to communicate with my angels and those around me. So that's lovely, being able to communicate with those around you and get some clarity and clarify. Okay, so I'll ask the angel cards for your message from them. If you have a particular question, you can ask it now. And your answer is success. Lovely. Oh, Kobe. Kobe's having a bit of a dream there. Yeah, lovely. So maybe your communication is going to be quite successful. How you communicate, what you've got to say, and what you've got to share with others. Okay. So thank you for watching part 1. And I will start on part 2 with the Zodiac Oracle cards to show you where the transits are for you, Gemini, through June. Part 2 of the transits through the Zodiac Wheel. We've got this month the Moon in Gemini here in your first house, because on the 10th of June you've got a solar eclipse in Gemini. Pardon me, in Gemini. So the moon will be eclipsing the sun. So on the 10th of June with the new moon in Gemini, it's the time of month where we set our intentions for the month ahead. It's also a time of new beginnings, of possibilities, so you can be aware of new possibilities, unlimited possibilities. Okay, so the solar eclipse is a very colourful time, because the solar eclipse in Gemini from the 10th of June really is giving us some long-lasting effects. So the next 3 to 6 months is very colourful. Things are going to really lighten up. Your phone could ring off the hook around the time of the new moon. If it does, then it's most likely the answer will be yes, because it's usually a time that you get good feedback about work. Could be even giving you some energy boosts there around that time. And the sun rules heads of state, father figures, your integrity. It rules the heart, vitality, and it's a good time here around that 10th of June to really take notice of where your emotions are at, because the sun governs your will, your ego, confidence, conscious mind, the face you present, your sense of self-worth and authentic self is all highlighted here with this solar eclipse. Okay, so that's there in Gemini from the 10th of June. And then after the 21st of June, the sun moves into Cancer here in the second house. So then it will be highlighting your finances, spotlight on that, giving it some vitality and hitting things up. Mercury is also in Gemini, and on the 30th of May Mercury went retrograde. So until the 21st of June, the Sun and Mercury will be both in Gemini. And then Mercury being retrograde is speaking to you of putting the final touches on any projects that you've got. And it is a message of even being able to come up with even better ideas, because of being the retrograde energy wants you to revisit something, it wants you to reevaluate, redo, and out of redoing and reevaluating and reviewing and revisiting, you can come up with something even better. And there's a sense of serendipity connected with Mercury retrograde as well. Then Venus, as of the 2nd of June, has also moved into Cancer. So Venus is already in Cancer, and then from the 21st of June onwards, the Sun joins Venus in Cancer. So there's a lot of energy that is really having us enjoying love and affection and kindness. Our emotions are a bit heightened. There's a powerful protective instinct with Venus in Cancer, and there's just a warning that if you fear progress or change, that you could hit a stalemate. So don't, or to the best of your ability, try not to resist change. It's also an influence of long-lasting friendships, and being in Cancer, Venus in Cancer likes creative cooking and craft, and it also is a good sign for steady growth of capital and shrewd investment. So all of this is in the area of wealth and finance for you Geminis. So that will be really being activated here through June. Now also in this second house area of your resources is Mars. So we've got a real activation here of how you present yourself in the first house, which is being influenced by the Moon, Mercury and the Sun. And then after the 21st of June, you've got 3 planets activating the area of your finance, your self-worth. So really be kind to yourself, really give yourself the credit and congratulations and that love that maybe you're not receiving elsewhere. Give it to yourself. Allow yourself to feel very proud and contented with what you've been able to achieve, because I really feel this is going to be a very productive and financial beneficial time. You could accomplish a great deal that you really sort of surprise yourself with. You don't want to fight about anything. You really want that self-motivation to really kick in, so you'll be working on yourself in that regard. And then from the 11th and 12th of June, Mars moves into Leo, here in the 3rd house for you, and it will be in Leo until the 29th of July. So Mars in Leo is very well complemented. It likes being in Leo. it's excellent energy for organisational ability, leadership ability, being able to be the extrovert without being too pushy, because that Leo can be pushy, and Mars in Leo might be pushing people too much, but you can still use your leadership abilities, lead by example. So not a case of telling others what to do, lead by example. It also puts a bit of spark in your sex life. Life can be quite colourful, especially from that eclipse on the 10th of June onwards, because that eclipse lasts for about 6 months. The vibrational energies from that eclipse are long lasting, over a 3 to 6 month period, I feel. So yeah, you really could find that it's time where life gets very colourful over the next 6 months. Switching and turning and changing, being able to be flexible, being able to switch from one thing to another, which Geminis are wonderful at. So that should suit you right down to the ground. Hit things with a flair of colour. Colour is going to really be vibrant and uplifting. And that Leo energy there is being activated by Mars, so it's a good time to get any health checks or checkups, especially to do with the heart, because Leo rules the heart. For those of you wanting to get more exercise, because it's in Cancer, it might be something that you have to do in the home. Well, dancing is a wonderful exercise, so the more you can dance, the better, and dancing is very uplifting and raises the vibrational frequency anyway. So dancing is highly recommended here, while Mars is in Leo from the 11th to 12th of June through to the 29th of July. Now, the generational planets are up here, shining over you. So what is above, so below. So we've got Jupiter here, retrograde, until the 29th of July. Jupiter is in Pisces, and Jupiter goes retrograde on the 20th of June. So the pattern or tone of growth is changing. So it could be that you maybe aren't following through with something. Maybe you don't want to continue on the path that you've been on. You want to change direction, because you can change your mind with this Jupiter retrograde in Pisces, because that Pisces energy does tend to hum and ha about should I or shouldn't I. So yeah, there could be something that you're changing your mind about, that you no longer want to continue. So that could find you examining your intrinsic moral code, or you could also be campaigning for the underdog. Okay? Now Neptune is also in Pisces, and this is the planet that represents all fluids, water, gas, any fluid. So that includes rivers and oceans, so there could be some noticeable things taking place with that, with Jupiter going retrograde on the 20th. And Neptune is also about your beliefs, your intuition, sensitivities. So you might take this time to do some meditation or prayer. All the Neptune inspired energies, spirituality, artistic, music, metaphysics, writers, mysticism is all being highlighted. And that is influencing this career area and your public reputation, where your cup is still half full and there's new beginnings, something new, and a gift coming. That shows a gift up there. Then Uranus, planet of the unexpected, which governs science and electronics, technology, unpredictable, planet of freedom, liberation, radical change, being unconventional, very futuristic energy with this Uranus energy. But that's in Taurus, still in your area of the unexpected. And you also had the Tower, which also governs the unexpected. So you could surprise yourself with just what new inspirational ideas or insights that you have. And it's also a time here with Uranus in Taurus in your 12th house, where you could really learn from the lessons from your past. So there may be something from your past that you still need to really understand, that you're repeating the same pattern, and that's why something is still happening. You've got to learn from your past, okay? But there is success. You do have success being shown there, and you can hone your communication skills. So if you've got to ask for help or ask for information, you will get through. Your communication will come through clearly. Now here is also Saturn in retrograde until the 11th of October. So that's a time where between now and the 11th of October, Saturn in Aquarius retrograde till the 11th of October is a time of remodeling, shaping new boundaries. It's about internalizing. There's an incubation period being notified here. So you could feel stuck. You could be reflecting upon the past and reviewing the past. If some things end through this period between now and October, just know that it's ending so it can make room for something new. Saturn ultimately is the father of time, the lord of karma. So it's rearranging priorities. It can bring frustration and or resentment, but it teaches us to wait things out. So we're learning valuable lessons so that we can shape something new, create dimensions and form with a new reality. And this is where it's taking you. This is part of your goals, believe it or not. This is what you've been striving for. And of course we've got Pluto here also in retrograde until the 7th of October. So this is letting you know that there is no rehearsal, and this period of retrograde does require strength, encouragement, and indeed courage itself, and developing new skills and finding a new way. So if you've been under some illusion, then you will find out between now and October what that illusion was, because you cannot stay under an illusion when Pluto is retrograde. So it's a time when reality is really presented to you. So these big planets, because they're the bigger planets, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto and Uranus, are affecting the masses, the collective. Whereas these faster moving planets are affecting you quicker on a personal level. Okay? So that Pluto energy is actually highlighting the 8th house area for you. Inheritances and joint resources, beginnings and endings. And the full moon on the 24th of June is also over here in Capricorn. The full moon is a peak energy. It's the culmination. And the moon is in detriment in Capricorn, so it's not in its favourite place. Now, the moon rules common people and their needs. And Capricorn is an energy of it rules the government, the Capricorn energy. It's sort of our bosses and people like that. But the moon is going to be in Capricorn, giving the common people the say. So it does have a cool, calm reaction attached to it. So people will probably keep the cool heads. And the urge to fulfill aspirations. But there is a tendency with that moon being quite moody, and governments will have to, or politicians or hierarchy will have to really feel out the mood of the people. But it's also a good time for you, the common man or woman, to impress those in authority, or impress, like put your best foot forward. Okay? So that's the 24th of June. Okay, and of course the full moon is always a good time to cleanse your crystals, especially if you're wanting to, get a new job or impress those in authority. Capricorn energy is really good for that. Okay, so I'll just ask for your confirmation card here, Gemini. Thank you. And you have the Six of Winter. Rescue cat, mixed breed. And your message is, the challenging times are coming to an end and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let the past go and embrace the happier times ahead. Lovely. So you have got happier times ahead. Till next month, stay safe, Gemini. Sending peace and loving light. Namaste. What you doing, Cobes?